Cheers, guys. Epix 911, welcome to Monday, January 2nd, 2017 edition of VR News. Let's start by chatting about games to look forward to in 2017. There was a list of nominees for various categories. About 3 weeks ago, I announced the winners. This is an Upload VR list. Mentioned the winners, most of the winners last week. For that, most of us kind of scratched our head with the game to most look forward to in 2017. Not that we're not looking forward to Star Trek, Bridge Crew, but there are a hell of a lot of other titles worthy of us looking forward to. They've got a list out, they being Upload VR, of 50 virtual reality games to look forward to on the non-mobile VR platform. So Rift, Vive, PlayStation VR, all included on this list. I just cherry-picked some of the titles. First one, and a few of you mentioned this, and I did as well, as being strangely absent from that list, Resident Evil 7. If you have PlayStation VR, you like horror, you got your eyes on Resident Evil 7, and for some reason have not tried the demo yet, give it a go. It's about 30 to 45 minutes long, but it gives you a really good idea of what the engine is capable of, and it's a pretty sweet engine. Gameplay, yes, it relies on some jump scares, but there's definitely some psychological horror / terror that is built up through that initial 30, 45 minute demo. That's probably going to factor into the full game. So if you haven't tried it, it's free. Give it a shot. Some other titles, Robo Recall, that is of course the game from Epic Games, Tim Sweeney's Epic Games, touch specific for the Rift. That's one that a lot of us are looking forward to. Essence from One Vision, that one's for the HTC Vive, also looks really good. This last one though, probably in my top 5 of games that I'm looking forward to in 2017, Zing, The Land Beyond. This one is from White Lotus Interactive, and it's going to be available for all non-mobile platforms, Rift, Vive, PlayStation VR. All right, news-wise, NoloVR are promising essentially a $99 US positional tracking capability for mobile VR headsets that also will allow you to play SteamVR games. Now, we know the solution. They're going to be doing that through RiftCat's vRidge. Talked about that a few months ago. It's essentially allows you to play compressed, albeit, SteamVR games on your mobile VR headset, right? So there's definitely some quality issues. There's definitely some latency issues, but it will allow you to play games where positional tracking isn't a requirement, right? Cockpit-style games where you're using Racing Wheel or HOTAS actually work fairly well. Well, now with their system, NoloVR, which kind of looks very similar to HTC Vive's Lighthouse tracking system, albeit a hell of a lot cheaper. Like I said, $99. It's going to offer positional tracking, their version of a room scale, according to them, plus the SteamVR thrown in. That just might be an ingredient for cheap goodness. If they can live up to that and not, be too bad on the quality. Remember, a lot of games were never tried with RiftCat's vRidge simply because we knew without the positional tracking, it wasn't going to do anybody any good. Now that that's available, we get a chance to evaluate those games. And if they work fairly well, even with compression artifacts, still might be a good entry-level solution for VR. And that we should have some more details on within the next month, hopefully next week or this week with CES. Next up, mobile headset maker Homido claims 500,000 units in sales. But let's analyze the sales first of all and talk about retail stores like Best Buy, physical retail chains, and online stores like Amazon. Walk into any American or Canadian Best Buy retail outlet, ask to be shown where the VR headset aisle is. They're going to bring you to the camera department, probably show you the either, one aisle of racks or back to front aisle of VR stuff, and you will see a metric crap ton of VR, what I call Google Cardboard alikes, because that's exactly what they essentially are. Plastic versions of Google Cardboard. So cardboard with a slightly better build quality, right? Homido is precisely that. So don't expect wonders on the game front. A lot of people are probably going to limit their use to stuff like YouTube 360 videos and the odd app or experience. Not to say that there aren't some decent games available, there are, but the gems are pretty far and few in between compared to, the big three and certainly the big Gear VR on the mobile VR front. So that's the first thing to consider. And Amazon, same thing, chock full of what I call those Google Cardboard alikes. So you factor all of that in, it makes sense. Plus the fact that their statistics are based on all the models that they've sold. And they've got about 4 or 5 different models that they've sold, each one averaging 70 to about 100,000 units sold. So it's no one solution that's, making up that 500,000. It's all the models that they've released. Either way, though, you slice and dice it, that's still 500,000 units. Not bad, but it represents that really, really bottom rung of virtual reality. The one that you would hope would not be somebody's first and last experience with VR, because it might leave the experience a bit tainted. Next up, SMI's social eye tracking breathes life into online avatars. This, according to an article on Upload VR. Now, they're a German company, SMI, and it's Sensomotoric Instruments is their name. They've got eye tracking technology that they have been working on, and they've kind of shifted the focus over the last little while into social eye, meaning using eye tracking for social reasons. And if you think about it, and this will come to light, part of that in my touch video, which I hope finally to get out today, we're getting bits and pieces from all over the place. We get some hand gestures from Oculus Touch. We've got trackpad from the Vive controller. There's just little bits and pieces all over the place. Now, with SMI, we get these eye features. Now, according to them, this is what they're providing. A breakthrough solution by accurately tracking the gaze of the wearer of the VR HMD and animating the eyes of the avatar in real time. Virtual characters can gaze, blink, wink, and show pupillary reactions to acknowledge others, express their feelings, or to simply make a point. You take that with all those other bits and pieces, and if you could somehow bring that together, I think you're getting a snapshot of where we're headed with VR. And it's kind of unfortunate that right now it is so scattered and varied among different vendors. That's to be expected, kind of at the forefront of all of this. Hopefully over time, though, that stabilizes and we start seeing it brought in under a few umbrellas instead of 20 to 30 that we currently have. Imagine being able to mix up stuff like the hand gestures with eye stuff, being able to express. It would add a whole new level of immersion to a game like Onward or any kind of Ghost Recon tactical style game where you don't want to rely on TeamSpeak or Vent. You want to use hand signals. And when we get to that point where, the touch is good for that, but being able to use all your fingers and actually sign in a game, actual sign language or military style, that is going to do a lot for immersion. So very cool technology from SMI. They're also mixing in foveated rendering algorithm with that. They have yet to announce when we can expect to see it, but that would be pretty cool. Where I could see that benefiting, depends on how it would work, I guess, would be stuff like online poker. where you rely on tells. If it accurately can capture some of that eye stuff, and you've got somebody, who knows how to read stress from pupil dilation and all that kind of stuff, I could see that adding an extra element of immersion to something like online poker. Of course, it'd have to go a long ways to include other stuff like actual body language, but it's a start. Next up, DiamondFX. These guys are combining VR and statistics to create what they're calling the Moneyball of immersive tech. Now, when I was a teenager, I played what we called hardball, which is basically baseball to the rest of the world. But we called it hardball to differentiate from softball, where you pitched underhand with a much bigger ball. So I played the overarm hardball variant, standard baseball basically, for about 5 years. And one of the things I always loved was the batting cage, being able to practice in the batting cage. Now, the problem with the batting cage was it was all very mechanical. So you couldn't really change, at least back then. Maybe they've got automated ones that are programmed with all kinds of algorithms now, but back then it was basically on, off, speed, angle, trajectory, and that was kind of it. So your coach would mix it up once in a while, but that was basically all you got. What DiamondFX does, and this is so cool, it's basically batting practice. Your prop is an actual Major League Baseball rated to spec style bat object to try and hit virtual pitches. Now, the catch here, though, is the virtual pitcher is programmed with algorithms covering techniques, styles, and different types of pitches from actual Major League Baseball pitchers. So completely takes the whole concept of a batting cage right up to the next level with accurate physics. The author of this tried it, and he said, until you see or experience what a 90-mile-an-hour fastball whizzing by you looks like, you can't really appreciate the experience. And so true. I don't even want to begin to guess what the speed was of even the last year when I played hardball, but holy Hannah, it was probably not even near half of that, or maybe around half of that. I don't know, but it wasn't near that fast. With 90 miles an hour, he says you basically have time to blink, and that's about it. So definitely highlights the skills of baseball players, that hand-eye coordination, how critical that is. They themselves talk about it, their product, by saying, we're in discussions with a few Major League Baseball teams at the moment, actively looking for developmental partners. We know there's still a lot to do, but we believe DiamondFX has the capability of being the next generation device. Our goal isn't just to help you fix your swing, but to help teams draft better, sign free agents more intelligently, and engage with fans more effectively. It's an all-encompassing platform that uses VR as a foundational tool to deliver teams higher quality data in larger volumes, as to help coaches, executives, scouts, and players make the best decisions possible. It goes on a little bit, but you get the idea. While they've got the professional angle, this could be used at the junior level, the developmental stages of baseball level. Just such a cool idea, and if you think about it, like most of these good ideas, they sound so damn logical. Once you hear them, you think, why wasn't this developed before? Well, with this specific story, we know why, because of VR technology not being anywhere near mainstream years ago. Now that it's becoming that, we might see more of this. And I could see stuff like golf even, those cheesy projector-driven golf style, trainers to help you with your swing could just go to a whole new level in VR in terms of accuracy and being more like the real game of golf. And the last news piece, this year's Sundance Film Festival, and all Sundance Film Festivals since I think it was 2005, have had what they call the New Frontier exhibit. And that's an area of Sundance, usually cordoned off, that you can visit, highlighting new and upcoming technologies, things in the film industry. This year, that's going to feature a lot of augmented reality, but also virtual reality content. There is a list of some of the stuff that you can see at the event. I should have a picture up actually with about 6 presentations or film presentations, if I remember correctly, to check out. So there you have it, guys. That is news for this Monday. Back to getting the touch video edited and getting this one edited. Cheers as always, guys. Definitely catch you on the VR flip side.